BYU basketball. Happy to have Lee Cummard, former BYU player, now grad assistant coach, here in Studio B. Welcome in, Lee.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
It is so nice of Lee. It is so thoughtful of Lee to have given us a natural conversation starter
So
by getting clocked in practice yesterday and coming in with a pretty nice shiner going on here. Take us back to practice yesterday and how this happened.
So what happened was I don't jump as high as I used to, and I went up, and at the same time with Eric Mika, I blocked his shot but came down a lot sooner than he did, and he was still up in the air and came down and caught me pretty good.
now we have given you the blue goggles if you would like to wear those.
No
I mean, they are
shame.
very stylish, but they are there for you if you would
I'll
like.
pass on the goggles.
But you're fine. That's the important part. You know, that you may have the shiner, but at least you're fine.
And you made the play.
Yes, you got the block.
I don't know what happened after I got hit, so maybe he ended up making the play, but initially I got it.
Well, when he came to the sideline yesterday, it looked like it was cut and like a split was developing there. And do you think the same thing? And
There was a small cut after the fact, but nothing serious.
So what did Eric say to you afterwards?
He didn't even know what had happened, so nothing.
Well, let's talk about. Unfortunately, you know, it's pretty sad news for Kyle Davis.
Yeah.
We found out that he is going to have knee surgery. His season is done. His BYU career is done. What does that loss mean for the team? And have you had a chance to talk to him? How's he handling the news?
I haven't, since I've heard the news, I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but it's just unfortunate because the guy worked so hard this summer and he was off to a decent start, you know, in a leadership role, helping our guys, and it's just unfortunate. You know, I feel bad for the guy, and he really likes the game and really worked hard this summer.
what does getting Corb back at this time mean for BYU?
Well, Corb is such an athlete. It's crazy. He's back this week, and right off the bat, he's just dunking everything and blocking shots, and he's enormous, and he's really going to help us, just how hard he works.
Well, you mentioned, you know, an athlete. We're talking Yoli Childs. We were talking about him in the previous segment. I've been really impressed with how he stepped up since being put into the starting lineup. I mean, the guy's averaging a double-double. Where do you think he makes the biggest impact with this team?
I think in two ways. His rebounding. He's a guy that rebounds out of his area. He can just go get a ball if you need him to. And then his rim protection. With him and Mika in there and now Corbin, you know, it's going to be hard to get to the rim on us with those guys at the back.
You know, the way practice works with the basketball team is, you know, you've got your blue team, you know, your starters and top reserves. Then you got your scout team. The scout team's going to be a couple practice guys, a couple guys maybe a little deeper in the rotation, and then Lee Cummard. So BYU has one of the best scout teams in the country every week because of this guy who can still be making money playing basketball. So I'm going to ask you, as someone who sees the blue team every day, hardest guard for you on this current team?
Well, I match up usually. I'll play guard the guards or, you know, the big guys depending on the day. Mika just he doesn't miss in practice. He just physically and he's just going right now, and it reminds me a lot of Keena Young back when I played. And just even in practice, he shoots a really high percentage, and he's relentless on the glass. And I think he's the real deal.
We know that when coaches put together a non-conference schedule, one of the biggest things that they're looking at is how can we prepare our team best for when we get into conference play? Well, now the team is getting ready to do that. How prepared do you think this team is for what they'll face in the WCC?
Well, it's going to be different because every team we play from here on out, they're going to really know us. They're going to know our personnel, and they're really going to have us scouted. So that's going to change things a little bit. But I think the non-conference schedule and that experience that some of our younger guys got is really going to help us. And as a guy that sees them daily, there's been a tremendous growth offensively and defensively throughout this non-conference season.
Some opportunities may be missed in non-conference games, close ones that might have gone your way with a couple of plays here or there. What do you take as the most positive development, though, of these 13 non-league games that get you ready for the WCC?
I think just a lot of the experience that some of these guys got because, I mean, KD's been hampered by a knee injury. Eli's been out, and those are two guys that we thought were going to be a big part of this thing to start. So some of these other guys that maybe we weren't factoring in early on have gotten a lot of experience, and it's been good for them. So I think that's going to help us long term.
I want to get into the Santa Clara Scout a little bit with the Broncos in town tomorrow night. so much of what's happening in terms of prep for this game has to be centered on Jared Brownridge. He's been around a long time, a prolific scorer for the Broncos. They're more than just him, but he's a unique talent to have to scout for.
No question, he can really fill it up. He's a tremendous scorer. They run good stuff for him, and most of their stuff is for him. And we're going to have to key on him, and our big guys are going to have to do a good job of helping and being in gaps in that case.
Besides Brownridge, who's a natural, what else about this Santa Clara team, though, do you think they're doing the best, will challenge BYU the most tomorrow night?
Well, they run a lot of flare screen, down screen action simultaneously, and our guards are going to have to get on numbers and chase. And like I said, our bigs are going to have to be in gaps and be ready to help on those flares and down screens. And then Brownridge is the key. They run good stuff. Sendek's a great coach. And their point guard, he's having a tremendous year as well.
Former BYU basketball player, now current grad assistant coach Lee Cummard joining us here on BYU Sports Nation. It's always good when you have a guy like Eric Mika who, quite honestly, is doing things that return missionaries just aren't supposed to do. He has been absolutely dominant to begin this season. What do you think has led to Mika's immediate success just being on his mission just a few months ago?
I think just his work ethic. I mean, he came back. If you could see the physical transformation that he took from early June to the start of the season, and then he's just playing with a lot of confidence right now. The guy plays as hard as anybody I've ever seen, and he plays with a lot of confidence. And right now, it's going for him.
Okay, Shiner or not, if you could update your picture from the current BYU basketball media guide to your current demeanor right now and your current style right now, would you do that?
Absolutely. It's the media guide picture is back from 2008, I think, and so it's time to upgrade.
A few hairstyles ago.
Yeah, a few hairstyles ago, no question.
It's worth checking out. Maybe we can get, I may want to dig out the media guide here and just do a camera shot here just to show people what we're talking about.
Nobody ever looks back on their photos from years ago and says, you know what, that was a good idea. No, nobody does. None of us do that.
I was rocking the Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber haircut back then, so it's much improved.
Let's do this. We'll see how quickly we can adapt on the fly here. So here's what we're talking about here. This is the I don't know if we're gonna be able to get this here. We're gonna be able to get that? Let's see. There we go. There's our guy. There's our guy.
Yeah.
Inspired by Dumb and Dumber.
I was gonna say, do you have like one of the orange polyester suits?
I wish.
Hey, these are moving days for the basketball staff. The annex has been such a story for the last number of months, and it's been kind of bits and pieces in terms of getting in there. But for the most part, you guys are almost all in. The staff is in. Tell us about the new digs and what it's really going to mean for the program moving forward, let alone the creature comforts that go with it.
It is sweet. I mean, for the coaches, it is tremendous, and they all got upgraded. They all have big windows that look out over the court, and a few have windows that look outside. I got a little cubby, in there as well, so it's cool for me.
But you're comfortable though, right?
Yeah, okay. For sure, and it's good. And for the program, there's just a gym that guys can get into anytime they want. With a manager or with the shooting gun and get shots up. The weight facilities there, which is off the charts. It's just a nice tool.
As obviously as a former player, you know what it's like to go through the grind of a season, a conference season. What are some of the memories you have? And obviously it was a different conference than what the team's in now, but what are your memories of conference play and kind of what that grind is like?
Just some of the battles. I mean, when you talk about memories, just some of the battles we had with some of the top Mountain West teams, the San Diego States and the UNLVs and the Utah. And it just the fun atmosphere in the Marriott Center for those packed games, and then big games on the road that sometimes we were fortunate enough to win. Just those memories, the battles.
The New Mexico or UNLV or SDSU or Utah of the Mountain West have been replaced now by Gonzaga and St. Mary's and other teams who maybe not aren't thought of as highly, but still get BYU's number from time to time. One of the things that set Dave Rose's teams apart when you were playing for the Cougs in the Mountain West Conference was not dropping the games that you kind of can't drop. You have to kind of win to keep yourself in contention. Might that be the biggest difference and what maybe BYU has to focus on most this season, making sure that you're not dropping those games that take you out of the race?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at last season, they won enough games. They just lost a few games that they probably normally shouldn't have won or shouldn't have lost, and that probably cost them a WCC share, And I think that's going to be the key this year. We're going to have to win our games at home and then go on the road and beat the teams that we're supposed to beat. and then try to get those games against the top tier guys in the league.
You got to be super impressed by what the Zags and Gales are doing, though. They've kept the ranking, and they're doing what they need to do.
No question. I mean, I watched that Gonzaga game versus U of A live down in LA, and it was a tremendous battle. I mean, the size and the athleticism on the court, it's fun to watch, and it's going to be even funner to go up against them.
You know, you were talking about confidence earlier with Eric Mika, and you know, I always look and see, you know, who are the hot team, you know, who's finishing up conference or non-conference strong, and can that translate heading into conference play? You guys are on a nice little roll, and Eric has been playing well. We mentioned Yoli, he's been playing well. You know, the shooting is starting to come around with Emery and with Haas. I have to imagine you feel, and the team confidence-wise feels pretty good where you are heading into this, right?
Sure, absolutely. I think TJ kind of hit a small little wall for a little bit, just being back off the mission in freshman year, but I think he's playing with a lot of confidence now and really coming into his role. And Yoli's emergence has been huge. I mean, he's a stud. He's going to be a big-time stud.
Lee, great stuff. We appreciate you coming, especially, you know, with the shiner. That's a gamer right there.
Yeah.
That is an absolute gamer. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.